Hi. Oh boy. Okay, so we're nearing the end of Nanowrimo. And of course, my efforts were obliterated. Here's why. I've got a totally legitimate reason this time. So updates in the world of Jen I Am Merrick. My son turned 5 years old. That's a big year that we celebrate in my family, and so I had been planning for 6 months to throw him this huge 5th birthday bash. And of course, 2 days before that happened, he got sick, and so we ended up having to postpone it a week. And then I got sick the second week. I powered through the birthday party because I was getting a little bit better. I'm still nasally, I don't know if you can tell, but long story short, half the month of November went out the window because somebody was either too sick to write or too busy taking care of a sick kid, or we were actually throwing a huge birthday party for my son. I haven't even written 1,000 words on my 3rd book yet. So, that in mind, I am not a Nanowrimo purist, meaning that although I adhere to the rules almost every year, I will not beat myself up over not doing it this year. So, this is what I ended up doing. I've decided I'm going to use the month of December for Nanowrimo. I'm going to use 30 days during the month of December. Christmas will be excluded from those 30 days to reach my 50,000 word goal, which would be about the 3rd book. But I wanted to give you a little bit of information about what I wanted to talk to you about this week. Happy Thanksgiving. I am recording this on Thanksgiving. We're all basically in a food coma, so I thought, what better way to digest all that than to make a video. But the main reason I wanted to make this video was because I had to make a lot of hard choices this year. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Hurricane Harvey because I've talked enough about that. But what it left me with was the decision of, am I ever going to get my 2nd book published? Am I ever going to re-release the 2nd edition of my first novel? My first novel, as you may or may not know, ended up having some legal issues with a former illustrator who I ended up firing. That settled now. I was in the right. We're all good and said. But I did find a 2nd illustrator, and I did pay her upfront fees for half the job, and she completed that. But I realized that after so much hardship and so many different challenges after Hurricane Harvey, I had to decide, am I going to not meet the deadlines I had set for myself in order to stay true to paying her, or am I going to make a sacrifice and make the decision to publish a novel without intertextual illustrations? And I think you know where I'm going with this. I've decided, and I am so sorry to my illustrator, Holly Huffenberger, I am no longer going to be working with an illustrator. It is going to be textual only within the pages of my novels, and to make it up to her, I am actually going to help her publish her very own art books in the future and help do all of her promotional work. So that was kind of a decision I made that kind of helps us both in the long run without me feeling like I am not holding up my end of the bargain. Excuse me. So I'm back to publishing. I have the Dangerous Voyage of Gup the Sailor 2nd edition in paperback and hardback coming out soon. I'm not going to give any dates yet because this is still kind of hush-hush in the public realm. This is just what I'm sharing with right up our alley for the time. And that leads me to getting back into crowdfunding for the next book. Now, before I needed to crowdfund everything, paying my illustrators, paying my editor, marketing, but I have learned so much over the last couple of years as a published author that I'm able to cut my costs quite a bit, one being that I will not be paying for an illustrator anymore. So instead of having to have a huge sum to be met for crowdfunding, I am cutting it in half. Now, the half of the crowdfunding money I raise at this point will basically go towards ISBN numbers, a little bit of marketing, and, still paying my editor, because that is a cost I will never compromise on. Always, always, always pay your editors. Make sure you have a very well-established and talented editor. I cannot say that enough, because in the world of indie publishing, and worse, self-publishing, there is not enough proper editing going on with the number of books that are out there for sale. So that is my big number one thing you absolutely have to do. One of the cool things that I've been doing that started as a hobby, I've realized I can actually tie into my author work. I, for fun, like to dress up in 1940s, 1950s Dapper Day fashions and meet up with my friends at Disneyland. And I realized that on September 19th, which is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, that would be a fun day to go to Disney parks with my same group of friends, but instead of dressing up in 40s and 50s, we dress as pirates and take Disney theme parks by storm. So I thought, I'm going to create my own Disney Pirate Guild, and I've named it the Disney Deckhands. I am not in charge. I don't want to be in charge. It was just an idea I came up with. Our captain will be Captain Mickey Mouse. So I just thought, how much fun would that be? And as I am advertising this fun event for people to do just for the heck of it, you know, because entertainment to me is so necessary for a good life. If you're not entertaining yourself, if you're not entertaining others, what are you really doing with your life? So I thought, wow, if I'm doing that, I'm also getting an opportunity to introduce people to my pirate-themed novels. So, I know I mentioned that using crowdfunding is a good way to advertise your own books, but also if you are in themed groups or have hobbies outside of your writing, that's my dog Hurley, anything like that, if it has any connection to what you're writing about, use it to talk about your books. So hobbies, apart from writing, and I know you don't want to talk about that because it's still Nanowrimo and a lot of you are still trying to bust out those word counts, but when you have a moment on your next video, tell me what your hobbies are. Is there any way those hobbies will translate into talking about your books? How could you use your hobbies as a free form of advertising? I look forward to hearing from you, and happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some pie or something. Bye.
I too can command the wind, sir! I have a hurricane in me that will strip Spain bare if you dare to try me!